Mega Man NT Warrior is one of my all-time favorite shonen animes. It's got a believable world, it's got great characters, and weird things seem to happen all the time. Howdy friends, I'm Scoutmaster Demi. I make Mega Man content every Mega Monday, and I also play every single DS game on Twitch. Hope you'll find us there. We're covering the first 2 episodes of Mega Man NT Warrior today, and if you're unfamiliar with the world of this series, I think the intro to the anime does a really good job of explaining it.
My friends and I have these powerful handhelds called PETs that let us battle in a virtual world with our cyber warriors. They're called Net Navies, and my Net Navi is Mega Man.
So our hero is Lan Hikari, a 5th grader who loves to net battle. The problem is, he has a generic model Navi, and that's no match against a custom model. Lan's classroom rival Dex has beaten him 18 times in a row with his Gutsman Navi. While Lan might be a loser on the internet, he's secretly a player in real life. That's usually the opposite, isn't it? His friend Meilu operates Roll, who, by the way, is like one of 3 female Net Navis in the whole world, and that never ever gets addressed. Anyway, Lan is salty that he doesn't have a customized Navi like everyone else, and a random fish from the local bumpkin Mesa is not even enough to cheer him up. Mesa's that one friend you have who doesn't have a smartphone and spends his day fishing, which is to say, there's no man on earth like Mesa, and that's why he's the best.
Know what'll really snap your chaps? Fish don't have eyelids.
We're interrupted by fire trucks from the future, which are shaped kind of like tanks and have giant water cannons. Okay, it seems like ovens keep catching fire all over town, and no one is sure why. Mesa hands Lan a totally free fish like the champ he is and runs up to check his own oven, but not before reminding us how important calcium is. What a man. Back at home, Lan eats dinner with his mom. He wants to check out the oven computer to see how it runs, but mom informs him that she's already got a specialist to look at it. Not suspicious. She informs him that dad also left a special gift, and Lan is thrilled. You see, Dr. Hikari is kind of a big deal. He may or may not have invented the modern Net Navi, so this might be Lan's chance to finally have a custom model. The data takes 3 hours to install, and Lan hurls himself to bed, talking weak like, man, 3 hours? I thought this was something great. Yeah, Lan, your dad sent you a 3-hour firmware update. Come on now. Dr. Hikari might be a genius, but his son is not exactly the brightest bulb in the PET store. So, Lan wakes up all surprised to hear a new voice. It's Mega Man, his brand new Net Navi. Except Lan is disappointed. He thought his father would send him a cool-looking warrior, not some scrawny little dweeb. He even says he wants his old generic Navi back, which... ouch. But Mega Man notices a strange heat signature. Lan runs to the kitchen, and surprise, surprise, the oven is indeed on fire. Lan cautiously jacks Mega Man into the computer, and sidebar, this is probably the only time in the entire anime series where we don't see a spiffy animation when this happens. The oven is full of viruses which are damaging the network and causing the fire. Mega Man takes them all out with his patented blaster, the Mega Buster, and that really impresses Lan. He apologizes for thinking Mega Man was weak and runs off to challenge Dex at school to a rematch. We get a glimpse of the school's computer network and see firsthand how communication works in this world. Net Navis like Gutsman deliver emails by talking to other Net Navis. Dex wants to ask Meilu to the movies, so their Navis, Gutsman and Roll, do the talking. Roll shuts that down for piano lessons, but Gutsman himself picks up Roll and wants to take her out, kind of like a King Kong vibe here, except Gutsman's actually kind of sweet, and Roll is definitely able to fight back. This totally embarrasses Dex in class, and he gets scolded by the ultimate baddie in the entire series, Ms. Mari. Mega Man tells Lan that he saw an evil Net Navi in the oven computer, which was responsible for the fires. Accordingly, we cut over to a mysterious HQ where an old man named Wily and a buff Scottish pyromaniac chat. This ovens on fire plot was carried out by this Mr. Match, and he's commanded by the old man to delete the blue Navi the next time they meet. Quick note, the English dub calls him Mr. Wily instead of Dr. Wily, which I've always found humorous, like maybe Wily got his doctorate taken away and that's why he started doing evil deeds. Anyway, the 2 students go at it, and Mega Man absolutely embarrasses Gutsman. I'm talking stopping a signature Guts punch cold in its tracks like it's a high five. Mega Man gives him the JoJo Aura Aura and is about to finish the job when Roll jumps in. Meilu's oven bursts into flames and she's in trouble in the real world. The three Navies all link over to Meilu's oven computer, which is kind of a feature the series really doesn't do all that much. You usually have to jack in person. Anyway, Lan and Dex also rush over to put out the flames in the real world while their Navies fight this mysterious evil one. They are greeted by him, Fireman, Torchman. It looks rough at first. Mega Man has no battleships since Lan isn't there, and his partner Gutsman just runs head forward like a knife to a gun party. He gets casually taken out. Thankfully, our brave warrior and Shad Lan runs straight into the house and is able to jack back in, which gives Mega Man access to battleships. The old shotgun into a sword combo doesn't do that much in the actual games, but in this anime, wow, it actually cuts off an arm. Seeing this absolutely brutal and savage treatment awakens something deep inside Roll, and let me tell you, she falls for Mega Man right away, and she will not be stopped by anything else. Fittingly, the first episode ends with Lan looking like an absolute Chad, having a fond and very powerful friendship being built with Mega Man, while Dex sits in the corner and actually physically cries about Gutsman. Yeah, if you're a fan of Dex, I got bad news for you. There's not a lot of great moments in the anime series. But of course, Dex can't catch a lucky break because what's lurking outside his window but a robot vampire cat? We cut to the hospital where Lan and Meilu are visiting their friend. Dex really wants them to leave, which makes Lan suspicious. So suspicious, in fact, that he just yanks the sheets off poor Dex like it's not some crime of privacy. Lan's the kind of kid who just busts into homes without knocking and starts snooping around under beds looking for dirt. And these savages! Meilu and Lan start laughing at Dex and his bitten leg. Just imagine if your childhood crush comes to visit you in the hospital when you're at your absolute lowest with the guy that she's clearly into, and that same punk reveals just how embarrassing you are as they start to laugh at you. Then that little gremlin puts his arm around your girl and gives you that shifty look like, what are you on, Lan? He absolutely deserved that stomp from Meilu, like, get that gremlin out of you, dude. But yeah, it is a pretty ridiculous situation to have a robot cat lashed onto your leg. Like, really? This is the year 2000X, and no doctor at this hospital is able to fix this, and you wonder why Dex has emotional problems. It's only episode 2 and he's out here blubbering, like, actually blubbering. Anyway, Lan and Meilu go get tea together. Their server is the botanist Sal, and can I just say, I think hands down, Sal got the biggest glow up from the Game Boy Advance games to the syndicated screen. The two girls explain to Lan what the World 3 is. That's that cyber terrorist organization that wants to take down the internet society. And speak of the devil, we get Dr. Wily having a chat with the David Bowie lookalike Count Zapp. Now, I have a love-hate relationship with this guy. On one hand, Count Zapp is an absolute freak. Like, I'm pretty sure he enjoys getting electrified, and that's no good, kids. But on the other hand, he operates Elecman, who is my #1 favorite net Navi just based on his design. I just think he looks kind of solid in a really cool and simple way, though I admit the anime makes him look lankier than sleek like he does in the games. Back to the kids, they spot their teacher Ms. Mari entering an antique store. Meilu explains that a girl named Miyu owns the store, and she is a fortune teller who's never been wrong. Lan's skeptical, but Miyu lets him know that she sees a sudden rush of flooding water for both him and Mega Man in his future. Meanwhile, Elecman goes absolutely ballistic in Dentech City, short-circuiting all sorts of electronics and even a clock. And yes, robot cats and dogs are also involved. Why they keep bullying Dex of all people is beyond me, but one particular villain has the nerve to steal Ms. Mari's bag. What a little scoundrel! Lan chases after that robot dog by striking a sweet pose with his Heelys, while Meilu busts out a scooter that I'm not really sure where she keeps. Well, the two chase the dog down the subway when all of a sudden he starts behaving. Just as Meilu realizes that World 3 is probably responsible for this, the train they're on loses control and starts accelerating. The train operators aren't able to shut down the rails, and they're worried that this crazy train is about to collide with another one. And just in case you weren't sure that he's a bad guy, Count Zap starts cackling with his guitar. Just look at the way he smiles when his power cord slams him into a wall. That is some deviant noise, y'all. Also, these trains are definitely gonna kill people. That is absolutely some grade A terrorist noise. After a very close call on the train, Mega Man offers to check out the computers and see if he can fix what's wrong. Look, Mega, I know it's just your second day on the clock, but that was a really long time to come up with that in a high-speed situation. Still, he starts taking down viruses and tells Lan to start rounding up the passengers on the real world and move them onto the second car. The plan is to release the two cars so that even if a crash occurs, the second car's occupants will be safe and only the first one will get damaged. Pretty smart stuff, actually. I kind of take back my Mega Man shade. Unfortunately though, Elecman gets the jump on our blue hero, and Lan has his hands full by separating the trains. In fact, Lan slips into danger by accidentally staying on the first train that's gaining even more speed. Thankfully, that same robot dog that Dex was on is able to save Lan and free him up to operate Mega Man. And honestly, at the perfect time, Elecman was about to fry Mega Man, but a barrier battleship comes in and is able to get the defense on. Lan starts following up with all sorts of battleships and ends with another cyber sword that slices up parts of his foe. Man, those chips are pretty weak in the games, but they're super effective in the anime. They force Elecman to log out, but that doesn't actually stop the train. Lan has to switch to manual and just barely halts the train right on time. I'll tell you right now, this might be the first time on the show that Lan brushes with deadly danger, but it will not be his last. The train staff come in and just blast the car with water. Mega Man reminds Lan that, hey, actually, that fortune did come true. And just look at Lan's face. He's absolutely thrilled, but not as thrilled as he looks when he gets a hug from Meilu. Boy's all flushed, like he can't even hide it. Even Miss Mari compliments him, but certainly not Dex. Even with Elecman out of the picture, he still has that cat on him, and just to really pour salt in his wound, the robot dog also jumps back in on the action. And that, my friends, is why it's really hard to be a Dex fan. So that's the end of this video. I hope you enjoyed it. Please let us know if you did. I'm considering making every single episode of this anime into a series like this, so I really do hope you enjoyed it. We're also playing Mega Man Star Force Deluxe every single Mega Monday on Twitch. It's part of our project to play every single DS game. And if you enjoy Mega Man content, I have a lot of BN6 PvP tutorial videos. Hope you'll consider checking them out. As always, I'll catch you next time, Scouts.